Bot to pro, best Call of Duty settings. Let's jump straight into it. So I'll basically go through all of my settings and stop to explain all of the important ones that'll most affect your gameplay. We'll start off with the graphic settings, more specifically the display settings. First things first, make sure you have full screen exclusive enabled and not borderless. A lot of people play on borderless, but I find on borderless you'll get like a small input delay, input lag. I don't know, something weird goes on with it. If you like it, stick with it, but I would recommend full screen exclusive. Your screen refresh rate, make sure this matches your monitor. Display resolution, again, make sure your monitor matches. If you have trouble seeing enemies in the dark or like dark corners, stuff like that, you can try to raise your brightness. I keep mine on 53, but it's kind of personal preference depending on your monitor and stuff like that. Low latency mode, if you have it, you can put that on. Some people play on plus boost, but I like it just on. Your frame rate limit, make sure that you have it capped at your monitor's limit. My monitor is 165 hertz. I put it on 160, just 5 below, but yeah, make sure you're not going over your monitor's refresh rate. HDR, you're gonna want this off. We'll go on to quality, render resolution, whether you're at 1080p or 1440, keep this at 100. Dynamic resolution off. Put your upscaling, sharpening on fidelity cast, and I keep the strength on 70. Some people like 80, but I find 70 works best for me. So all of these lower settings, I pretty much keep them all on low or off. Texture resolution, if you're struggling to get frames or if your frames are kind of low, you can go to very low right here, but I find it's not much of a performance hit to go from very low to low, so I just keep this one on low instead of very low. And most of these are all low, off, low. Next, we'll go to view. I play on 120. Most Warzone players play on 120. Some of them maybe 110. Maybe you'll see 100 here and there, but 120 will give you the widest field of view and let you have the best view to see more players and more things in the map. Motion reduction preset, just keep this on off. Your weapon field of view, I prefer wide just because, again, it lets you see more of your surroundings instead of having the gun real close up to your screen. So wide is probably the best option for that. Make sure motion blur is off. Same with weapon motion blur, keep that off. And make sure that your first person camera movement is on least 50%. I wish there was a 0% option, but yeah, keep that on least for sure. Next, we'll jump into my keyboard and mouse settings. A lot of this is going to be personal preference, but if you want a good place to start, or if you're just looking to switch things up, I can give you some recommendations for sure. So I play on an 800 DPI, my 4.8 in-game sensitivity. My ADS sensitivity multiplier is 0.9. This is kind of a medium sensitivity, I would say. It's not a super fast or super slow one. It's kind of a good in between. I mean, I would recommend if you're struggling on mouse and keyboard to lower your sense and try it out. So I do not use custom sensitivity per zoom, but you can do that if you want, you know, for different scopes, depending on how far the scope zooms in. You can change that, but I do not use that. I've always played on gradual. A lot of people play on instant, but gradual's always felt better for me, and I've just been on it so long, so I stick with it. Here's a big one, relative. If you go to legacy, it'll make your hip fire and your ADS sense basically the same, but I like my sensitivity to slow down whenever I aim down sight, so I keep this on relative. You can give that a try, mess with it, see what's more comfortable for you. Monitor distance coefficient, 1.33. A lot of people on 1440p monitors play with a 1.78, but I've been on 1.33 for so long that I just stick with it. Make sure your mouse acceleration is set to 0. Mouse filtering, you want that on 0. Smoothing off. Yeah, you don't want to mess with this very much. And mouse wheel delay, this is default. Next, we'll jump into keybinds. So if you see this little yellow dot on a keybind, that means I changed it. But if you don't see that, that means it's just a default keybind. So right here, my sprint, tactical sprint, I have this unbound, which the game kind of makes you freak out because it's all red, but don't worry, because right here I have my tactical sprint set to shift. So basically I can walk or tactical sprint. I don't have a keybind to sprint, but I mean, you don't need a regular sprint. Just tactical sprint or walk is perfectly fine. For the sprint assist, mantle assist, crouch assist, I keep all of this off just because I'm on mouse and keyboard, so I really don't need it. Corner slice, keep this off. So here's a big one, prone behavior. I used to keep this on toggle, but if I'd get in a sticky situation and just spam my keys, then I would end up going to prone, standing back up, going to prone, and I would end up getting killed from whatever cover I was trying to hide behind. Now I'll keep it on go to, that way I can spam it if I want, and whenever I want to get up, I just sprint out of the prone. Keep sprint, restore, slide, maintain sprint, keep your movement fluid. You want to keep these on for sure. Mantle cancels reload, put this off, that way you can bounce around your enemies without canceling your reload. Some of the advanced settings here. Walk speed, I prefer fast just to keep that movement fluid. Next we'll go to combat. Pretty standard in here, nothing crazy. Apply all, make sure your armor plate behavior is on apply all, that way you don't have to keep hitting your key to put plates on. And last we'll jump into audio settings. So I do play with enhanced headphone mode. The Sucker Punch audio mix seems to be the best for me for hearing footsteps. Asymmetrical hearing compensation, keep this on. So for your frequency intensity, same thing, left and right channel. These are my personal settings. I find it makes footsteps stand out more, and all the background gunfire and just all the loud noises you hear in game, I think it kind of lowers it. This is what I found best. I've tried many setups for it, but give this a try. You'll probably like it. All right, and that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you learned something new, hit that like, subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks.